UEFN, Fortnite Creative 2.0, the epitome of all Fortnite creative maps that has come to pass. In this video we'll be talking about if FFNC has really changed the Fortnite creative landscape. Has it been for the better or for the worse? And overall, if people should be making maps in 2.0, 1.0 or Minecraft story mode. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the beginning of this video. My first point, the first maps in UEFN are very rushed and lazy. You could tell that from the two Battle Royale, Fortnite Battle Royale Chapter 1 remake maps. Both of them had several bugs, were clearly not quality controlled, and honestly were just not that good. Both of them maps have now severely died off, and nobody really talks about them anymore, at least to my knowledge. The attention of them maps was spread off into other far better projects. And yes, there has been good projects in UEFN now, but when it first came out, every project that you could find was extremely lazy, rushed, and money grabbing. That's all they were after in the beginning. Obviously, when it came to Epic putting the restrictions on the remake maps, there was a far lower amount of them coming out afterwards, and a lot of them that would come out just weren't that good, obviously, because people would just rush their maps out for money. That's the only purpose of them maps. There wasn't actual passion behind them, as you could tell due to the fact that there's several bugs, very clearly placed bugs, that a full-on build team who had months or weeks to prepare should have been able to notice fairly quickly. That, especially as they were copying a pre-existing map, so they had a lot less preparation needing to be made. But then, there's even with the other types of maps, not the first ones that came out, but there's still a great amount of the same maps from 1.0. The prop hunt, the gun games, the 1v1s, the box fights, they all still exist in 2.0. They have not disappeared, there's not less of them. Hell, there may even be more of them. And they are still extremely lazy. They all feel like cookie cutter, they all feel the same repetitive type of maps. It's honestly not fun to play them either. They are very built for sweat, and that will be a point later on in this video on UEFN and all that. But all these maps, they're still here, and it shows there's been no creative shift with all the new stuff. Obviously there has been some creations that's new and unique, but they're so few and far between that it's not even relevant. There's so few unique maps out there, or at least unique stuff on maps. They're currently all the maps feel the same, except from they've got these pre-made Blender assets on them. It's honestly not that fun to see, and it just feels like the same map again. Especially with how Discovery is still working. And talking about Discovery, they are literally it's somehow gotten worse with UEFN. That's because now the same maps can take up spot in several goddamn Discovery tabs, as you can see up on the screen. Yeah, this is some wild stuff. UEFN has destroyed Fortnite Creative so much that the Discovery is getting flooded with the same map over and over again. It's honestly just not worthwhile trying to create a map when you're having to go up against one map in every category base, or at least that's what it would feel like. But yeah, there's also stuff with the high clickbait that's still around. The map names, the map titles, still extremely clickbaity, using terms like tilted, 2.0, OG. They all still exist. They are to click. You'll see stuff famous characters on the screen. You'll see all this in the thumbnails, all this, that, and the other. It's all to get little kids to click, sweats to click, just so that people can get more plays. but it ruins the whole creative aspect, as it has been for ages. With UEFN, these maps are just like even more easily produced, really, and like they have full-on build teams for this. They own the money, and no creativity comes out of what could be made. And seeing as how big of a shift UEFN had on the community, knocking out like console players from ever being able to participate, it's knocked out low-end stuff. It's really like threatened Fortnite's like creative, because there's still the lazy maps, but now they're at a higher quality because of the better software. The map creators have done nothing new, but the maps are better because of what they're using. So basically, what this is trying to say is that UEFN hasn't actually helped at all. In fact, it's probably gotten a lot of things worse. Like the constant bugs that people have to deal with, the like new learning curve, and without like much support, this wasn't a gradual like release like a lot of people thought this would be. So essentially, UEFN has crippled the Fortnite creative stuff. People are trying to relearn everything, whilst they can make better maps for the people who are on consoles have got no chance. You have all the controversy of like the age rating to like publish maps, and like the playing with your mates making maps, having to go through this really odd process. All this has really took a toll on Fortnite creative, and in the end, these maps aren't like a good quality map isn't even going to be appreciated by a lot of people, and that's because of two key aspects: low-end consoles and, well, devices in general, and also sweats. Like, this is some note that I've taken from the DirectP Discord. Like, sweats would be more interested in low poly maps which have less ping, less lag, because that's what they want to play on. They will want to have the best fighting experience over the best design. And the low-end consoles and devices and all that, they have issues with UEFN because, well, they just can't handle it. Therefore, they have to stay on the older maps, and these older maps, low poly and all that, that's going to be the box fight, the easily produced stuff, the lazy aspects of Fortnite Creative. And that all together, it's like showing that no improvement has really come from UEFN yet. Obviously, people are enjoying it. There is some cool maps coming out. Like, up on the screen, you'll see a really cool like Undertale themed one, and the unique aspect to it. It's like so far like it feels like a completely different game compared to a normal Fortnite. However, nobody really wants to hear about that one because it's not going to be combat based, it's not low poly, so a lot of people are already taken out of it. And all of this just comes to show that UEFN is honestly not doing anything for the community, just because the community won't accept UEFN. There's controversy in it. It's just not fit for most people. It already has a bad impression on it. So unless Fortnite really turns things around, keeping up with bugs and all that, I don't think UEFN is going to be loved. I think it's just going to be like a select few people appreciating what it can do, but it's never truly going to be loved by the community. People are always going to be nostalgic for 1.0, saying, it was better. There wasn't nearly as many bugs, even though there are still a ton of bugs in 1.0. But like, people could publish maps without having to be 18+. They could play on each other's maps. People are going to be nostalgic for that just because UEFN had such a bad start. People aren't going to give it much of a chance anymore. People aren't going to enjoy it. People aren't going to give it the time of day to try and prove itself. Yeah, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button. Comment down below any video ideas you have, or if you disagree with what I said, if I got something wrong, if your name's DirectP. Yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.